Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the conference, and in order to avoid any noisy sound during the conference, I would like to ask you to stay muted and please rename your Zoom display name accordingly to your role. For presenters, please add letter R followed by your room's number and your full name. For session chairs, please add SC in the beginning followed by R with your room's number and your full name. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2026 Thailand International Conference for Project Management with the theme of Generative AI, Knowledge Management, and Digital Transformation for Education, Industry, and Enterprise Productivity, proudly hosted by the Association of International Business and Professional Management. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here. My name is Danboy Firdaus, and it is my absolute pleasure to be your MC for today's conference. And before we begin today's program, allow me to warmly greet our honorable guests who are joining us here today, and we are delighted to welcome participants from across the globe, such as Indonesia, Malaysia, China, India, Pakistan, Iraq, Nigeria, and more. It is our privilege to introduce our distinguished guest joining us today, Dr. Lim Gaisil as the President of AIBPM and Mrs. Ira Cristiana as the Vice President of AIBPM. We are also joined by our esteemed distinguished guests, presenters, lecturers, and fellow participants. Today, we are honored to have a lineup of insightful presentations from distinguished speakers who will share their expertise and perspective to enrich our understanding and spark meaningful discussion on generative AI, knowledge management, and digital transformation for education, industry, and enterprise productivity. We would also like to express our sincere appreciation to Universitas Cendrawasih Papua, Indonesia, for their valuable support in making this conference possible as our co-host. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we start the session, I would like to invite all of us to listen to the Indonesian National Anthem, Indonesia Raya. Next, I would like to invite all of you to watch the AIBPM and co-host profile video.
Welcome to AIBPM. the Association of International Business and Professional Management.
We connect academics, professionals, and students worldwide.
Through international conferences, workshops, publications, and global projects, with more than 5,600 members and partnerships across leading universities. NIBPM is building a strong global network in education, business, and professional management.
Hi, my name is Roland Perdana. I think this is a very good opportunity to join this conference.
Hello, my name is Ferry Prastia. I am very happy to join this international seminar with IBPM, and this is a good impression for me to enrich my knowledge.
Hello, my name is Bohirjon Sodikov. I'm from Tajikistan. We are so happy that we join such kind of conference.
Join us and be part of the international movement. AIBPM. Innovate, collaborate, inspire.
Thank you. Now, we will continue with a special segment featuring greetings and congratulatory messages from our keynote speakers for the 2026 Thailand International Conference Project Management. Please enjoy the video.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Samriti Mahajan from New Delhi Institute of Management. I extend my sincere congratulations to the AIBPM for the successful organization of the 2026 Thailand International Conference on Project Management. This conference has served as a distinguished academic platform, bringing together researchers, scholars, industry professionals, and practitioners from across the globe to foster meaningful dialogue, share knowledge, and drive innovation in the field of project management. I commend the organizing committee for their exceptional dedication, professionalism, and meticulous execution. I wish AIBPM continued success and growth in all future endeavors and international conferences. Congratulations once again on this remarkable achievement. Thank you.
Greetings from INTI International College, Penang, Malaysia. It's a great pleasure to be invited to speak here at this prestigious conference. I wish to offer my congratulations to AIBPM and all the hardworking committee for successfully organizing the 2026 Thailand ICPM Conference with the theme Generative AI, Knowledge Management, and Digital Transformation for Education, Industry, and Enterprise. I trust that we'll all have a very meaningful, insightful, and informative conference ahead. Thank you.
Hello everyone, it is my pleasure to announce that I will be speaking as a keynote speaker at 2026 Thailand International Conference on Project Management. I am looking forward to share my research insight, learning from distinguished experts, and engaging with participants from across the globe. Conferences like these are wonderful opportunities to exchange ideas, foster meaningful collaboration, and building lasting professional network. I look forward to meeting you in Thailand. See you on 13th and 14th August 2014.
Greetings everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm Dr. Işıl Demirtaş from Giresun University, Turkey. I'm truly honored and grateful to have been invited as a speaker at the 2026 Thailand ICPM Conference. My sincere thanks to the organizing committee for bringing together such an inspiring international committee to discuss generative AI, knowledge management, and digital transformation. I'll be joining you online to deliver my keynote, Rewiring Green Growth: How Generative AI is Reshaping Sustainable and Inclusive Development. I wish you all a successful and inspiring conference. Thank you, and I send my best regards.
Thank you very much. Now, please welcome Ms. Ira Christiana as the Vice President of AIBPM to deliver the opening speech for the 2026 Thailand ICPM. Ms. Ira, the time is yours.
Distinguished keynote speakers, respected academics, researchers, practitioners, students, and participants from around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining us from different countries and time zones. On behalf of the Association of International Business Professional Management, or IBPM, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to today's online international conference. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our keynote speakers, presenters, partners in this institution, reviewers, committee members, and all participants for your valuable contribution and support. Although we are joining from different locations, technology allows us to come together in one academic forum to exchange knowledge, discuss new ideas, and build meaningful international connection. At IBPM, we believe that conference should not only provide opportunities to prevent research, they should also encourage collaboration, strengthen professional network, improve the quality and impact of academic works, and open new opportunities for future research and publication. Today's conference brings together participants with diverse academic disciplines, professional experience, and cultural background. The diversity is one of our greatest strengths. I encourage everyone to participate actively, ask questions, share perspective, and connect with fellow participants. I also hope that this conference will become the beginning of further collaboration among researchers, universities, institutions, and professionals from different countries. Once again, thank you for joining us and for trusting IBPM as a platform for international academics exchange. Your participation is essential to the success of this event. With great pleasure, I officially declare today's IBPM Online International Conference open. Thank you, and I wish everyone an insightful, productive, and successful conference. I'm Ira Christiana on behalf of IBPM. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the wonderful speech, Ms. Ira. We are really lucky to have such a great and remarkable people to support this conference. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are very pleased to officially announce that the 2026 Thailand International Conference of Project Management is now begin. Welcome to the 2026 Thailand ICPM. Thank you, Miss Alicia. And now I would like to invite you to share the photos taken during the event on your Instagram and use the hashtag of 2026 ICPM, hashtag info AIBPM, and hashtag info for academia. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at AIBPM.conference and subscribe to our channel at AIBPM Talk Series, where you can stay updated on our events, publication opportunities, and watch recordings from our conferences. At long last, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for me to introduce the keynote speakers for today's conference. Our keynote speakers are, the first one is Dr. Wong Teik from INTI International College Penang, Malaysia. The second one is Dr. Nwaogu Chan Man Hin Eve from Technological and Higher Education Institute of Hong Kong. The third one is Dr. Ajay Kumar Patel from Institute of Management Studies, IMS Ghaziabad, India. And the last one, Dr. Aysil Demirtas from Giresun University, Turkey. And in order to start the conference, please welcome our moderator today, Dr. Gandan Pillai.
Good morning.
Dr. Gandan Sesa. So Dr. Gandan Sesa has been in academia since 1997 and has teaching experiences in various areas of law and business management. He has authored and contributed to several journal publications in his area of academic interest. Beyond academia, he is actively involved in social activities and community initiatives, such as supporting and assisting individuals and communities in needs. So without further ado, Dr. Gandan, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Dandy. So without my introduction, I think Mr. Dandy has already introduced. Anyway, my name is Dr. Gandan. And there are 5 keynote speakers: Dr. Wong Teik An, INTI International College, Penang, Malaysia; Dr. Nwaogu Chan Man Hin, Technological Higher Education Institute of Hong Kong. Then we have Dr. Aysil Demirtas, Giresun University, Turkey. And of course, the last, Dr. Ajay Kumar will not be presenting physically, but will be in recorded form. There are a few guidelines to be complied with. All online participants will be muted during the presentation. There will be a question and answer sessions after the keynote speakers finish their presentations. The moderator has the authority to choose who will deliver the questions or suggestion. For our keynote speakers, after completing your presentation, we kindly invite you to join the breakout room provided by the organizer to share a short testimonial about the conference. This will take around 1 to 3 minutes, and our MC will be there to guide you and record your testimonial. Before I start, I would like to inform you that each keynote speaker has 30 minutes to present their slides and questions and answer session. For all keynote speakers have finished the presentation session. So it's our pleasure to introduce Dr. Wong Teik An from one of the prestigious university college in Penang, INTI International College, Penang, Malaysia. Kindly play the video profile of Dr. Wong Teik An. I can't hear the video. Okay. Dr. Wong Teik holds a PhD in corporate social responsibilities and philanthropy from University Science Malaysia. His areas of interest and subject expertise include corporate social responsibility, environment, social governance, social capital, small businesses, entrepreneurship. He obtained his Master of Business Administration from University Utara Malaysia and his Bachelor of Arts cum laude with honors in Asian Studies from Pomona College, USA. He has also spent some semesters studying in Oxford University, England, and Nanjing University, China. He has presented at numerous conferences, guest lectured internationally, published in academic journals, and authored several books. For Dr. Wong, the time is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Gandan. Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. It's a pleasure to be here in this conference. And I believe the organizers are going to share my slides for me. Is that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, while waiting for my first slide to pop up, as I said, I'm very honored to be here and to be invited as a keynote speaker in this IBPM conference in Thailand. And I mean, it's really amazing, right? Whereby we can organize virtually and have people from all over the world converge and share our insights, our perspectives. And I believe here we are here to in a sense, pick on each other's minds, right? To find new insights, find new ideas, and hopefully I can contribute to this via my little presentation, which I'm waiting for the slides to pop up. Okay, there you go. So can you like enlarge and okay. Well, the title of my keynote speech is Higher Education in the World of AI. And I believe this is relatable to all of us, as we are all in higher education, and we are faced with a world that is increasingly being infused with AI and artificial intelligence, etc. So with that, I feel that this is a suitable topic to be shared with all, and hopefully that can open up some new thinking, some new perspectives, and open up new avenues of research and publication. Next slide, please. Okay, here we go. And this is my rough agenda for my presentation on this topic. First, we'll look into deconstructing higher education, then current higher education scenario, followed by challenges of higher education. And I'd like to pose some big and even ultimate questions to all of us to ponder and to work on in our hopefully future research and publications. Next slide, please. Okay, when we think about it, higher education, I think all of us are immersed in it, and it's worthwhile to what I call deconstruct it, because if you ponder upon it, higher education is a complex, multi-dimensional phenomenon, and it fulfills several functions, right? If you deconstruct or you tear out the different components, what is higher education? And some of the roles of higher education might be very obvious, others less so. I believe the most obvious role of higher education within society is transmission of knowledge, right? we think of higher education as a place or an institution where we go to receive knowledge, to get knowledge transmitted to us. And that is a very prominent role. And it's not just transmission of knowledge, it's also generation of knowledge through new research, through new discoveries and findings. And that's a very obvious role. But on top of that, there are other less obvious roles that higher education play in society. And one of it is socialization. And what I mean here is we are taught indirectly, perhaps, on how to act, to behave, to play our role in society and how society works. Like, for example, it's common in education whereby we get different grades for different academic achievements, right? And in a sense, this is a form of differentiation, and it's inbuilt in our society whereby you put in different effort, there's a different outcome, and then you are rewarded in a sense with different grades, and the different grades will eventually reflect a different social status, social understanding. And that teaches us indirectly that hopefully your effort pays off if you put in hard work, and then you'll receive the different social recognition. And therefore, that is how we function in society. On top of that, it's also an arena for what I call relationship formation, or what sociologists call higher education is actually a very conducive marriage market. Now, this is an arena whereby young people of roughly similar ages, roughly similar backgrounds converge and meet each other and get to know each other, form relationships, form friendships. And many of these connections can and will result in future longer-term relationships, perhaps even marriages and other connections. So it's a very conducive arena for relationship formation. Higher education also plays a role in personal development, whereby students, individuals, we use this as an arena for discovering our interests, exploring different areas of studies, of knowledge, and in a sense, finding out who we want to be. Because those who come into university are at a very formative age, right? These are young people, and in a sense, the students just trying to find their way in the world, to find how they fit into society, etc. And with that is a very conducive environment for personal development. On top of that, in the bigger scale of things, higher education contributes to our economy and nation building in fostering economic opportunities, providing jobs, providing through research, providing new knowledge, new insights, new technology to further our economy and hence develop our nation. And not just economically, but obviously also socially, whereby it's a very powerful tool of nation building to mold society, to develop society in the manner that the nation deems fit. So with this are some of the major elements of higher education when we deconstruct it into its different roles in society. Next slide, please. Okay, now with the current prominence and prevalence of AI, we have witnessed the following. And obviously, this is from my perspective and my research. I'll be happy to hear from others. When it comes to transmission of knowledge, with AI, this has accelerated, and knowledge can be transmitted much faster, much more efficiently than it used to be. And bear in mind, higher education does not have a monopoly on transmission of knowledge, whereby you can learn and get to know stuff from various sources apart from higher education. When it comes to socialization, from my observation, it has reduced to a certain extent. Of course, the results are mixed. Right nowadays, you can get to know friends online, but I observed that in terms of experiential learning, exposure, socialization, it has been reduced. Whereby I've taken when I look back at my own education journey, most of my friends were formed in schoolyards, playing together in dorms, living together, etc. But when it comes to a more AI-infused education environment, where there's online learning, where there's a lot of automated responses and all that, it feels that the human connection has been lessened. And when it comes to relationship formation, on this score, actually, I've done some research whereby, in sociology, we use the term social capital to to what they call to terminologize the simple human activity of friendship. This happened during COVID, whereby all of us have to revert or rather convert to online education delivery, and we track the social capital formation online and the traditional face-to-face education. And again, the results are mixed, but overall, at the overall comparison, social capital formation has been reduced when we did online learning and when we have less human interface. When it comes to personal development, I see this as a mixed result, whereby the online scenario on the positive side has opened up the world of knowledge to all of us. From a screen, from a keyboard, we can find out all sorts of things from all over the world. And on that score, it has enabled individuals to explore their interests. But then it's also mixed in the sense that whereby the experience and human exposure has been reduced, so that calls into question whether the personal development has been enhanced in this respect, whereby traditionally it's an arena for us to explore, experience different things, and the online environment seems to have a mixed result. Economy and nation building, I believe this is mixed. Now, I'm no economist, but I believe that certain sectors benefit from enhancement of AI, whereas others may see a decline. So it's up to nations to juggle, balance national policies accordingly in the world of AI. Next slide, please. Now, as I mentioned, during the COVID, there was a shift towards online education, and I believe accelerated with the way I've discussed just now, very similar to my previous slide. So, sorry, the next slide, please. Now, let's turn our attention to the current higher education scenario. And with this, obviously, I speak from a Malaysian perspective because this is where I'm from. But I believe this is very relevant to all of us, especially in Southeast Asia. In Malaysia, our higher education environment is highly regulated by our local authority, which is the MQA, or Malaysian Qualifications Agency. And we have set up a very comprehensive structure, which is based on OBE, outcome-based education, whereby there are very specific program and course learning outcomes and teaching approaches, assessments, and rubrics assigned to a particular course within a program. And of course, our MQA, our higher education framework is developed in accordance with the ASEAN framework. So in different forms. This is quite similar to other countries, at least within South Asia, and all these are benchmarked to international standards. So this is the direction where we are moving to, whereby our higher education is highly structured and very systematic. Next slide, please. Now, I'd like to be a bit of a critical thinker, if you will, to kind of like think on a different basis, whereby I feel there are some assumptions that we have made when it comes to developing our higher education system, whereby the implicit assumption is that we assume that we know the future, right? We are talking about a lot of outcomes. Outcome is by definition future-oriented, and we cannot assume that we know what is good for the students in terms of the graduate attributes that we want them to develop. And I think it's worth pondering whether these assumptions are valid, are good, are strong enough, whereby the future changes very fast, right? And sometimes I ponder, and I don't mean to sound negative. I know that a lot of effort, a lot of good work has been invested into constructing a very robust and strong higher education system. But sometimes I do ponder, can our current system accommodate truly groundbreaking work, whereby it's really something new and we wouldn't know the outcome? Like, for example, if the geniuses like Einstein and Darwin, when they did their work, nobody knows what will be the outcome. Can the current system accommodate them and recognize these talents? I think this is something that is worth pondering, right? And I'd love to hear from the rest of you. Next slide, please. And now we have AI-supported teaching and learning. And again, sometimes I like to ponder, with AI-supported teaching and learning, are we able to generate truly new and novel discoveries? Because as you know, AI is very good in going through existing information, right, and coming up with new interpretation and all that. Fine. Are we rehashing and refining existing knowledge? And think about it. If so, is this good enough? Because something that is truly new is not available yet, logically, right? So with the current AI infused world, are we able to generate truly new and novel discoveries? Worth pondering. Next slide, please. Now, when it comes to challenges of higher education, I believe that higher education, be it as an institution or as a construct, we need to rethink and recalibrate the role and relevance of higher education. Because as we deconstructed just now, a lot of the elements, in fact, all the elements is not the monopoly of higher education. Knowledge transmission, socialization, relationship formation, all these are not the sole purview of higher education. And with that, higher education needs to rethink where is it that we should focus on so that we can remain relevant. And I believe, from my point of view, these are the areas that I think higher education should focus on. Firstly, it's on socialization and soft skills. Again, back to the deconstructed higher education, it's a good arena for people to meet up, to develop their social skills, to develop social networks and relationships. And this is perhaps the area that higher education should focus on. Character building and personal development and discovery, again, is an arena for experimentation, for trying out, for experiencing new things. And this is an area that young people need to delve into. Community, economy, and nation building. It should continue to play a prominent role in community development, social development, and economic development. But when it comes to transmission of knowledge, I put a little question mark there. Is that the strength of higher education nowadays in the world of AI, whereby knowledge is abundantly available anywhere and and everywhere. So I believe higher education needs to ponder this and rethink itself to be more to retain its relevance in the future. Next slide, please. When it comes to teaching and learning, human teachers and lecturers, you and I believe most of us are in the education line. I feel that we need to focus on more on pastoral care and soft skills. As I said, knowledge transmission, actually AI can do it very efficiently. And perhaps our role should be more towards the soft skills and the more human side of things. And our learning should focus more on experience, exposure, and soft skills rather than knowledge transmission, so that we retain our, in a sense, our relevance and our role in society. Next slide, please. So when it comes to higher education as an institution, as a college, as a university, the challenges include the fact that now that the functions of institutions has been unbundled, we need to really think of where is it that the strength of an institution lies. And with it, I believe it should be less emphasis on transmission of knowledge, which is easily available, but more on creation of knowledge, research, coming up with new and novel findings, which then we can then add to the body of knowledge. This, I believe, should be a prime function of higher education institutions. More emphasis on personal development and self-discovery in the higher education context amongst our students. We need to be very student-oriented, student-focused to enable our students to develop their innate talents and discover their passions. More emphasis on being cultural and social institutions. Now, we are not just knowledge-generating institutions or knowledge transmitting institutions, right? Higher education is also a social institution. It's also a cultural institution where we should use it to develop and enhance our society and our local culture. Next. Now, I'm coming towards the end of my presentation. I'd like to pose some questions for all of us to ponder, and hopefully that can spark future research. Now, will higher education still be relevant, prominent in the world of AI? Will it be replaced by informal learning, self-learning, and skills and vocational learning, vocational training? Think about it. Will teachers and lecturers still be relevant and prominent? Will we be replaced by AI chatbots, robots, and humanless online teaching and learning? Think about it. Will higher education institutions still be relevant, or will higher education institutions as we know it be replaced or be in a different form in the future? Now, these are all not easy questions to ask, and I guess my ultimate question, next slide, which is something that is not easy to ask, but I think worth pondering is, next slide. Will humans still be relevant and prominent in the world of AI? Think about it. Thank you. Terima kasih. Next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Wong. In fact, it's very interesting, and it will trigger more professionals and academicians to think about it. But whatever you said, I do agree with you, Dr. Wong, because we do face a similar experience. Dear participants, before we proceed to the next keynote speaker, may I ask if anyone has a question for Dr. Wong? If you have a question, please click the raise hand button and the organizer will unmute your microphone, or you may also type your questions in the chat box. Thank you. Any questions?
Or any comments? I'd love to hear your perspectives and ideas. Oh, I saw something from the chat board. From the chat. What should universities focus on to remain relevant? I believe this is what I presented just now, right? Probably less on knowledge transmission, but more on the softer side of a university's role in terms of socialization, in terms of being an arena for students to discover themselves, to experience different areas of knowledge and education. So yeah, I believe that was the focus of my presentation just now.
If there's no, then we can proceed to the next speaker, Dr. Nwaogu Chan Man Hin from Technological and Higher Education Institute of Hong Kong. Can you play the video profile, please?
Okay, thank you. Just a second.
Dr. Eve Chan is an assistant professor at the Technological and Higher Education Institute of Hong Kong. He holds a PhD in fashion and textile marketing and merchandising from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University and has extensive experience in both academia and the fashion industry, including leadership roles at H&M. Her research focuses on international trade, fashion, textile, econometric modeling, artificial intelligence, and the Belt and Road Initiative. Dr. Chan has published extensively, authored and edited academic books, received several international research awards, including the Best Research Paper Books Award, at the 14th Asian Textile Conference. She is also frequent keynote speaker, session chair, reviewer, and committee member at international conference. Dr. Eve, kindly present.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
Thank you for introduction. As you say, I'm Dr. Eve Chen from Technological and Higher Education of Hong Kong. I'm the program leader and assistant professor of fashion design program. And under our program, we have fashion design and fashion management. So today I'm happy to give the presentation of skill and knowledge development through business stimulation competitions, advancing student self-determination competency. So you guys can see the screen, right? You guys can see the PowerPoint, right? You can see it, right? Okay, so okay. The purpose of my research is about we have to investigate how business management stimulation games transform learning experience within our university student. Assess the influence on curriculum design and teaching methodology in business education, and what kind of research method I use for this research. I apply a comprehensive survey with a 100 response rate from 364 local university students in Hong Kong who study in the business management stimulation games competition, and they attend. They are the business management student in Hong Kong, in local university in Hong Kong, as well as they use this stimulation game to attend the competition. So the finding is students perceive stimulation game as valuable tool for enhancing their learning and motivation in business contexts. So first of all, I would like to talk about the review for activities-based learning. Its emphasis the need for innovative learning methods to engage students actively in the tertiary education. So we are not just talk about the theory or the background or all this history. We would like to embed the theory applied to the game stimulation in order to have a more lively, and we can enhance the engagement of the student to make the learning more fun. So the stimulation game is to be served as a practical tool for converting the complex business concept theory in order to encourage the decision-making skills through interactive competition and real-world scenario. And the key concept is about the experimental learning theory. Learning is a process which knowledge is created through transforming experience, and highlight the importance of reflection and experimentations in learning. And the self-determination theory is about how the student focus on motivation and the fulfillment of three psychological needs, including their competency, how they can master their skill and their task, autonomy, and how they can control their own action and decision, and relatedness, how to connect with others in the learning environments. So the research objective of my study is how to develop a descriptive system for creating stimulation-based learning software, and how to integrate interdisciplinary student, like including the business student, the management student, IT student, as well as my fashion design and fashion management student, to enhance the educational experiences, and to utilize student feedback to refine the stimulation scenario and improve the engagement in our class. So in my research, we have invited 364 students from 8 higher education institutes in Hong Kong. And the survey designs we explore student experience with both traditional teaching methods and stimulation games. We collect quantitative data on the perception of usefulness, engagement, and learning outcome of this student. And the research finding can see that they're quite promising result. After we use the stimulation games, there are 43% of students agree that stimulation help in applying theoretical concepts to practical situations, and 32% of the participants strongly agree, indicating significant perceived benefit of using the stimulation game in their class. And 78% of the respondents felt that stimulation games improve group interaction and cooperation with the teamwork. And the holistic understanding is over 77% of students recognize that stimulation facilitates a comprehensive understanding of different business functions, for example, marketing and finance concepts. So the impact on student engagement and learning outcome, including participation increase like the stimulation game, and lead to a 50% increase in engagement, means the student more focused, they can engage in the class more actively. They will ask questions and they will interact with their teammate. And the retention improvement is enhanced learning outcome with 40% better concept retention. That means they can memorize the concept in a longer duration of time. And the motivation proof, like interactive environments increase interest in business management. Also, 90% of the students enjoy and engage more with stimulation game. They enjoy to engage to use the stimulation tool in order to understand more key concept and theoretical background of the business field. And the negotiation skill, they believe that 35% of the students, their skill in negotiation is improved. And the stimulation game create immersive and effective learning experience of the student. So the discussion is engagement through the active learning. Stimulation games create like a more interactive, immersive experience that keeps students more engaged in our class, and shift from passive to active learning, promoting deeper understanding, particularly in Chinese society. Chinese student does not like to ask questions. After we talk maybe 1 hour lecture, we ask students any questions, they just keep silent and very quiet. So I think using the stimulation games is quite a good way to enhance the interest and enjoyment of the student, because by the time they're playing the game, there are four participants, 4 students as a team, so at least they can interact with each other. And as a lecturer, as a teacher, we will go to each group to talk to them, to talk about the theoretical background, to see how they understand what we have just taught, and also how they make the decision based on the theoretical background. And development of the critical skill, enhance the problem-solving ability, and the collaborative skill is very important nowadays. They are not just be a grade student. They know they have to know how to communicate with people, how to convince people in a peaceful way, right? So it's very important for them to develop such a soft skill, like the previous Dr. Wong talked about the soft skills is very important in nowadays if the student wanted to be a successful people. And students learn to navigate complex scenario, preparing them for real-world challenges. And also the benefit of stimulation game also includes that stimulation make like a real business environment, allowing students to practice decision-making in the real scenario after their graduation. As the safe learning environment as well, students can experiment with strategic strategy and learn from mistakes without real-world consequences. Yeah, that is true. They can learn the experience from a very safe learning environment because they will not lose anything. They just try and error to see which decision is the best for them to select in the future. And the skill development, like they can enhance the teamwork, communication skill, critical thinking skill, which is very important for the future career. So the expert opinion is, first of all, stimulation can benefit the insights from educators, emphasize how stimulation games enhance engagement and learning outcome, diverse perspective. Experts highlight scenario-based learning as crucial for developing practical skill and technical proficiency. And the tech documentation, educator advised to utilize VR headset and stimulation software for effective learning experience and make the class more fun. And the key challenging for using stimulation tool, including the software integration, integrating the stimulation games into curriculum, requires overcoming software complexity and usable challenging, because sometimes the equipment, computing or internet may have some challenging in some of the area, sometime. So that is one of the key challenging if the teacher likes to use the stimulation tool in their class. And the budget constraint, financial limitation often restrain access to necessary technology and resources for effective implementation. We need to get a extra budget from our department to see which software can fit to several modules in order to get the budget to use this stimulation tool in our class. And the innovative solution, institutions have successfully adopted innovative technologies through collaborative projects to address this challenge. Yes, and the future outlook is, we think that prediction on the evolutions of stimulation games in education driven by emerging technologies like AR and emerging trend and potential shift to educational strategy influenced by technological advancements such as cloud computing. So that is the future education strategy in the global education system. And also the student empowerment, we will enhance the opportunity for enhancing students' self-determination through cutting-edge technology to learn new things. So the conclusion of my research is about that is we that is the enhancement of business education to use some stimulation games in our class. Like these stimulation games represent a significant shift in teaching method, highlight the need for ongoing research and adaptation of curriculum to include such innovative tools. And the future potential is we would like to encourage educators to embrace technology and interactive learning to enhance student soft skill as well as their their analytical and critical thinking skill. Yes. So the key takeaway of today is summarizing critical learning about stimulation games in education, strategic step for educators to enhance learning experience through using such a innovative stimulation tool in their class. And we would like to encourage student engagement through innovative education tool and working together to share best practice in educational technology. So thank you very much for your attention, and I would be happy if you have any questions to ask me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chan Manhin. Very interesting indeed, especially when it comes to stimulation, that stimulation enhances the mind development and also will improve mental development insofar as students are concerned.
Yes.
Any questions? There's one question there. Dr. Chan Manhin on the chat. There are two questions. So we will take one question. Based on your findings, stimulation games significantly improve students' engagement, teamwork, learning, retention. In your experience, which of these outcomes has the greatest impact on students' long-term learning and why? Dr. Chan?
Okay. In my experience, I would think that if we use I use this stimulation tool in my research method class as well as dissertation class, as well as fashion design and business development class. I can see that the engagement of the student has improved, like the research just mentioned there. And also the duration of the retention of the knowledge, particularly for the very complex business concept, they can memorize they can retain in their memory in a longer time, and they have really a full and clear understanding of the business concept than we just talk in the class. That is true, because in that dimension too, for example, we will set some scenario like you just mentioned my background. I work as a global business controller at H&M before I joined the academia. So I will set like we just set the simulation game like an international fashion company like H&M or Zara. So there's a 4 role, like one is the product developer, one is the fashion buyer, the other one is a global business controller, and the other one is the logistic staff. So 4 people, they will understand the situation. How after COVID-19, like then how many SKU we would like to put in the H&M in Hong Kong, and what for example, like what is the preference color of Chinese people? Hong Kong people. What is the size of Hong Kong people? And how many pieces of clothing for size S, M, XL, L should put in the store. So all these things, normally we will tell them just verbally, like quite a boring way. But if you are the one who engage in that stimulation tool, so you have to understand the theory as well as we give them the real situation. Then we will put there, and then the stimulation game will run and see how they can make profit or how they can meet the expectation of Chinese people. Or the other situation is, okay, we would like to relocate. We would like to expand our business to, let's say, to Thailand or Indonesia or Malaysia or India. So the situation is totally different. Although the concept is the same thing, right? But they have to think about that. What is the expectation of the customer? What is the culture of those people? If we buy mini skirt in Indonesia or Malaysia, then the business will be fail, right? Yeah. So if we like to buy some of the sexy coat in Middle East country, then the business is also will not be successful, right? So the student have to understand the different part of the theory behind the scenario, and using this stimulation tool can make the class more fun and in a more practical and real life situation. So I believe that, and according to my research, the retention of the knowledge and the engagement of the student activities, which they can engage in the class, has improved if we use this stimulation tool.
Thank you, Dr. Chan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, and have a good day. Thank you.
Same to you. Same to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So let us invite Dr. Aisil Demitas. I'm not sure the exact pronunciation. Very sorry if I make it error in the pronunciation. She's an associate professor in the Department of Economics in Rusan University. She earned a PhD in economic policies from Mamara University in 2015. Additionally, she received a scholarship from Teik and worked as a visiting scholar at the University of Michigan from October 2016 to September 2017. Her research interests include macroeconomics, energy economics, economic policy, the green economic, and sustainable development. Doctor, it is your time to present. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Greetings, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. My sincere thanks to the organizing committee for bringing together such an inspired international community. Over the past several decades, economic growth, environmental sustainability, and technological innovation have often been discussed as separate agendas. Today, however, these three forces are converging in unprecedented ways. At the same time, generative AI is rapidly transforming how we generate knowledge, make decisions, and solve increasingly complex problems. This raises an important question. Can generative AI simply make economic growth more efficient, or can it fundamentally reshape the way we pursue sustainable and inclusive development? Before we can talk about AI, we need to be clear about one concept, green growth. The literature generally distinguishes between green economy and green growth, although the two concepts are closely interconnected. Green growth refers to resource-efficient economic growth that improves environmental performance without slowing economic development. In other words, it is growth that creates prosperity without depleting natural capital. Green growth also mainly focuses on the relationship between the economy and the environment, whereas the green economy asks a broader question: who benefits from that growth? And that brings us to the central question of today's talk. Can AI make growth greener, or can it also make growth more inclusive? To answer that, we first need to understand why green growth emerged in the first place. For decades, the dominant neoclassical growth model treated environmental damage as an externality, something that could be corrected later through taxes, regulation, or bargaining. Pigo argued that polluters should pay for damage they cause through taxation. Koza took a different view. He argued that if the transaction costs are low, people can negotiate efficient solutions themselves, regardless of who owns property rights. Yet, both approaches, despite their disagreements, share the same underlying assumption that environmental damage was a problem to be corrected at the margins without questioning the growth model itself. By the early 2000s, however, it became increasingly clear that climate change via diversity loss and resource depletion were no longer margin issues. They had become systemic constraints. Then came the turning point, the financial crisis of 2008, together with growing ecological crisis, revived environmental policy under the banner of the economy. But as I argue in my own work, something important happened. Green economy originally emerged as a critic of growth-centered economics, emphasizing ecological limits and social justice. Yet after 2008, it was gradually absorbed into mainstream economics and reframed as green growth. Placing much greater emphasis on economic competitiveness and technological innovation than on equity. That is why I believe today's challenge is no longer simply green growth. It is inclusive green growth. If green growth has been discussed for decades, why has it become so urgent today? I believe the answer lies in the convergence of three structural transformations. First, the digital transformation is reshaping how economies create and use knowledge. Second, the green transition is changing the rules of competitiveness through net zero targets, carbon pricing, and sustainable regulations. And third, the knowledge economy means that long-term growth increasingly depends on innovation and the effective use of knowledge rather than physical resources alone. Together, these three transformations have created the conditions for a new model of green growth. The question is no longer whether AI matters, but how it changed the way green growth actually works. I believe AI reshapes green growth through three complementary pathways. The first is improving decision making through better prediction. Sustainable development increasingly depends on our ability to anticipate future emission, energy demand, climate risks, and the impact of alternative policy choices. Generative AI enables us to analyze vast amounts of data, stimulate complex scenarios, and support evidence-based decision-making more quickly and effectively than conventional approach. The second is accelerating knowledge creation and diffusion. Sustainable development is driven not only by technological innovation, but also by our capacity to generate, share, and apply knowledge. Generative AI can democratize access to scientific expertise, technological guidance, and best practices, enabling governments, businesses, and communities to make more informed and timely decisions. The third is optimizing complex systems. AI is no longer used simply to analyze information. It is increasingly helping to coordinate and optimize interconnected systems from electricity grids and industrial production to logistic and supply chain. AI can improve resource efficiency, reduce waste, and support more sustainable operation in real time. Together, these mechanisms represent a fundamental shift from responding to environmental challenges after they emerge to anticipate, preventing, and managing them proactively. So, what does this transformation look like in practice? Let me briefly illustrate it with 3 examples. First, energy systems. According to International Energy Agency, AI can increase the capacity of existing electricity grids up to 175 gigawatts globally. More broadly, widespread adoption of existing AI applications could reduce emissions by an amount equivalent to around 5% of projected energy sector emissions in 2035. Second, emission transparency. Reliable measurement is a prerequisite for effective climate governance. Climate Trace combines AI with more than 300 satellites and over 11,000 sensors independently monitor more than 745 million emission assets worldwide, providing monthly updates that significantly improve transparency and accountability. Third, sustainable finance. AI is increasingly being used to improve ESG analysis, support sustainable investment decisions, and strengthen the monitoring of green financial instruments. As cumulative aligned green, social, and sustainable bond issuance surpasses 6.8 trillion US dollars globally, reliable information becomes increasingly important. Together, these examples show that AI is becoming an integral part of the green transition. So, let me bring these ideas together in a single framework. This figure is adapted from the conception model that I discussed in my earlier work on the relationship between green economy, green growth, and sustainable development. At the center is sustainable development, which can only emerge when economic prosperity, environmental protection, and social equity reinforce one another. Traditionally, green growth has focused primarily on strengthening the relationship between the economy and the environment, improving efficiency, reducing emissions, and promoting cleaner production. My argument is that generative AI can significantly strengthen this connection by improving prediction, accelerating knowledge diffusion, and optimizing complex systems. AI can make green growth faster, smarter, and more scalable. But technology alone does not create sustainable development. It must also expand opportunities, reduce inequalities, and improve access to knowledge, skills, and innovation. In other words, it must promote inclusion. Only when green growth is combined with inclusion do we move closer to genuine sustainable development. So I see generative AI not as an end in itself, but as an enabling force that connects economic transformation with environmental sustainability and social inclusion. Throughout this talk, I have argued that generative AI can accelerate green growth, but acceleration is not same as inclusion. History reminds that technological revolutions often increasingly productivity, yet their social benefits are rarely distributed automatically. Without the right institutions, new technologies can deepen inequalities just as easily as they reduce them. The same is true for generative AI. Countries with advanced digital infrastructures, skilled workers, and strong institutions are likely to benefit first, while others risks following further behind. In that sense, the digital divide can easily become a green divide. That is why inclusive green growth requires much more than technology. It requires investment in education, digital skills, institutions, capacity, and governance. AI should not simply optimize economic systems. It should also expand opportunities. There is also an interesting connection to economic theory. Ronald Coase argued that when transaction costs are low, parties can resolve environmental conflicts through direct bargaining, regardless of how property rights are initially assigned. I would argue that generative AI can push transaction costs further down by lowering the cost of information and coordination, making environmental bargaining faster, more distributed, and less dependent on top-down regulation. But technology cannot replace institutions. Ultimately, the future of green growth will depend not only on smarter algorithms, but on smarter governance. Let me leave you with one final thought. I have argued that generative AI is not replacing environmental economics. It is extending its capabilities. Today, advanced in AI provide new capabilities to improve the pricing of externalities, accelerate knowledge diffusions, and optimize increasingly complex systems. But technology alone will not determine the outcome. Whether these capabilities translate into sustainable development depends on the choices we make in policy, in business, and in education. The real question, therefore, is not whether green growth will become digital. That transition is already underway. What matters now is ensuring that this transition is inclusive, transparent, and sustainable from the very beginning. In the end, the future of green growth will depend on how effectively we generate, share, and apply knowledge. Thank you very much. We can't hear you, doctor.
All right. Any questions pertaining to green growth, environmental, AI, and also what transaction costs? If there's no question, may I ask you one question, doctor? Okay, the question is, today we have a lot of environmental issues. The climate is very unfair. And to what extent can a transaction cost could be reduced? You know, now we're having like Indonesia, the forest fire. A lot of carbon is coming to Malaysia. Who is supposed to pay the transaction costs? And the residents in Malaysia are suffering because of the low quality. So how can the AI can overcome these issues? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. It's a very good question, I think. The transaction cost, I don't know the Indonesian economy and how they try to success the sustainable development, but I can give some examples for maybe developing countries or especially in Turkey. AI have some benefits, I think, but to be honest, it has very big challenge too. It has its own AI has its own environment costs, energy footprint, and even water consumption. These are very good for us, but some have an efficiency problem also. I think for AI, and I'm well aware of it, but it's managed some, I think, some systems, and it accelerates some, I think, some computer sciences, or I think it consumes, we know, more energy. But I think we solve at the future, we solve also the energy problem by the help of renewable energy.
Thank you, Dr. Isa. Thank you so much. So let us invite Dr. Ajay Kumar. He's not here personally, and his presentation will be played, it will be recorded. So I just gave a video profile of Dr. Ajay Kumar Patel. Dr. Ajay Kumar Patel, with 17 years of academic, research, and corporate experience. Dr. Ajay currently serves as Professor and Dean Research at IMS Ghaziabad, B School, India. His expertise spans corporate finance, financial analysis, risk management, and valuation. Dr. Patel has published scholarly research papers, chaired international conferences, and contributed as an editor to reputed journals. Known for his academic leadership, he has successfully guided accreditation processes, organize conferences, and serve institutions through digital transformation. So can you play the recorded video, please?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me in this international conference, ICPM 2026, International Conference on Project Management. As a keynote speaker, I'm very delighted to address the gathering. Let me start with my presentation. So as the theme of the conference is generative AI, knowledge management, and digital transformation for education, industry, and enterprise productivity. I would like to share my observations and insights from the research that I have been involved in for the last 2 to 3 years. The theme that I'm going to discuss is generative AI and digital transformation in knowledge economy. So just a brief profile about myself. I'm a PhD in management with specialization in finance. I have also executive program in applied finance from Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, and MBA in finance with certified for lecturership in finance. With 18 years of experience, I am associated with Nottingham University, UK, Liverpool John Morris University, BITS Pilani, India, and IMS Ghaziabad as my full-time employer. My domain areas are finance, accounting, investment management, financial derivative, financial econometrics, and sustainable finance. So what is the macro perspective when we say generative AI and digital transformation? The organizations are moving from automation to orchestration. There is a paradigm shift from being deterministic task automation to dynamic cognitive orchestration. This is what the modern enterprise are moving towards. So in today's session, we'll start with understanding the paradox between adoption versus earning before interest and tax, EBIT. So in management, we all know EBIT is the bottom line of any organization to measure the performance of the organization. So what is the paradox? We can see that it's only 35% of organizations which have seen a significant impact on their EBIT by the adoption of AI. Although overall enterprises across the world, the large cap firms, almost 78% of enterprises have adopted the generative AI, or for that matter, they have digitally transformation. strategies. They have adopted digital transformation strategies. Where is the bottleneck? Bottleneck is the access fallacy. We call it access fallacy. What is access fallacy? Distribution of LLM license without structural flow work design. This only leads to personal productivity and gains, not organizational. Second, the strategic alignment problem. The high-performing enterprises shift focus from cost reduction to cognitive business capabilities. Now, when we discuss digital transformation, it's important that we focus on the difference between task automation and reimagination. When we say task automation, these are targeted for individual productivity, or a little bit broader scope could be local task speed. Now this means there is an application of AI tools for the existing manual flow work or workflows without altering the operational logic. These kind of updation has led to 14 to 34% efficiency gain, which is nothing but a linear growth in ROI, return on investment. This is because of high vulnerability to process frictions. Now let's come and understand what process reimagination would look like, or look like in an organization which has gained advantage by digital transformation. There is a redesigning its cross-functional business architecture, and agentic workflows are used for unified knowledge graph, which leads to 3.7 to 4.2 times return on investment across units. There is a compounding effect on enterprise value through sustainable competitive model. So it's very clear that when we say digital transformation, the enterprise are not supposed to focus only on task augmentation by LLM, by application of large language models. Rather, there should be process reimagination. What are the three pillars that every organization need to understand as a cognitive framework? First, contextual grounding. The retrieval augmented generation and enterprise knowledge graph should be connected to frontier models through verified unstructured enterprise data, neutralizing all those hallucination risk. Second, agentic orchestration, which is nothing but transition of passive prompts to autonomous multi-agent system capable of multi-step reasoning, tool execution, and self-correction. Final, the human in loop governance framework that embed human expertise at all critical decision-making nodes, ensuring ethical alignment, auditability, and risk mitigation. Now, as we say, agentic artificial intelligence, it goes beyond the chatbots. We are very familiar about chatbots. The agentic AI is a frontier of digital transformation, moving from standalone chatbots to autonomous agentic networks. These can be three different levels we can understand. First, the generative AI decomposes decomposes the problem required to be solved. How does it perform? It is by segregating into actionable subtasks. Second, it is through tool integration. It can be through direct API integration with ERPs, enterprise resource planning, customer resource management, CRM softwares, or even the financial databases like Bloomberg, or you have other Refinitiv databases. You have CSR, MAR data of China, Provesh of India, and so on, right? Third, generative AI architecture should include continuous adaptation, which is nothing but real-time feedback and refining the reasoning over operational cycles. Now let us understand what are the sectoral impacts through the adaptation of digital transformation. The highly gained sector are financial services, especially the fintechs, payment gateways organizations, service organizations like Visa or MasterCard, or even Google and WhatsApp. Then comes media and telecom. Third, healthcare and life sciences. And there's a lot of scope for healthcare and life sciences to include the generative AI technology so that the end consumer can get advantage of this. Manufacturing and logistics, 5x RO. Now, what are the key insights? The knowledge-intensive sectors, all these are knowledge-intensive sectors, demonstrate significantly higher capital returns because of implementation of these integrated platforms. Some of the enterprise transformation cases that I would like to discuss in these four sectors. First, healthcare. It is stereo access and clinical system, which has surgical robotics and care discharge summaries, which uses RAG and surgical AI, and their revenue growth is by 39% and 65% faster patient handover. In financial services, we have global investment bankers, which has automated equity research and regulatory audit. The implemented AI architecture is knowledge graphs. There is 70% reduction in document processing time. So we can understand in a financial services company, there are these reports that have to be generated and audited. And that is the time consuming. Then we have software engineering. The company like Global Tech Services, it applied code refactoring and automated testing. 34% developed velocity boost and 40% less bugs. Then we have customer experiences, which is tier 1 global support. The transformation focus was through autonomous issue resolution. AI architecture was multi-agent support. And what was the measurable outcome? The 50% ticket absorption and 10x response acceleration. So hope you can understand that what digital transformation can do to an enterprise. So based on the observation, I can propose that there is a maturity curve of AI strategy for any organization. First, it starts with ad hoc, that is implementation of LLMs through individuals as well. Second comes the contextual, wherein enterprise RSA integration, secure data pipelines and architectures, and standardized governance for ethical practices. Third, implementation of agentic AI through multi-agent workflows and API integration through job role redesigning. And the final is the self-evolving intelligent AI with continuous feedback and cognitive business model, which will be known as autonomous. So everything boils down to human interaction, right? So there is a need for human capital and role redesign. As there is a talent integration frictions, the AI access has surged by 50% and 84% jobs have left core job description and workflow unchanged. So there is a requirement of shifting of the fluency. Education and cognitive fluency surpass technical coding requirement for business leader. The AI itself now does the coding part and self-correction as well. And the workforce is required to be hybrid, which is the integration of human and AI teams. So I conclude that the enterprise of tomorrow, the intelligent enterprises of tomorrow, is not defined by how many models it deploys, but how seamlessly it synthesizes human capital with machine cognition. Thank you so much. I'm open for any question. Thank you.
Thank you. Since Dr. Patel is not here and is not physically to answer your questions, so I will like to thank all the keynote speakers. And once again, the keynote speakers for sharing their insights and the experience and knowledge to all of us. Thank you so much. Now I'll hand over to our MC. Thank you. MC, it's your turn now.
Thank you, Dr. Gandan, for the leading the conference for today. So, very well, ladies and gentlemen, those were our four keynote speakers with very insightful presentation. And next, we will move to the parallel or the presentation session that will start at 1 a.m. Jakarta time. I repeat, the presentation session will start at 1 a.m. Jakarta time. And before we move to the presentation session, please make sure to rename your display name accordingly to your role. All presenters can go to a certain Zoom room based on the presentation schedule, and you can join the room by clicking the join button, and you will be automatically joining the presentation room. After the presentation is finished, all presenters can come back to the main Zoom room for the closing remark. Thank you. See you on the 1 a.m. Jakarta time. Gentlemen, we have now reached the end of the 2026 Thailand International Conference of Project Management. On behalf of the organizers, We would like to express our sincere gratitude to all session chairs, speakers, and participants for the valuable contribution and enthusiastic participation. We hope this event has been meaningful and beneficial for everyone involved. And now, I'm very pleased to announce the 3 best presenters of this conference. And our best presenters are winners. There are 3 best presenters of this conference. The first one is Dr. Insinyur Bambang Santoso from Krakatau Polytechnic. The second one is Dr. Insinyur Adi Setiawan, SHMH from Universitas Teknologi Surabaya. And the last one is Miss Sheila Putri Agustin from Universitas Cendrawasih. Congratulations once again to all the winners. Each best presenters will receive a certificate which will be sent via email after the event. We would also like to invite you to share the photos taken during the event on your Instagram and use the hashtag of 2026 ICPM, hashtag info AIBPM, and hashtag info for academia. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at AIBPM.conference and subscribe to our channel at AIBPM Talk Series, where you can stay updated on our events, publication opportunities, and watch recording from our conference. Once again, we would like to express our sincere thanks to AIBPM for their valuable contribution to this event. Last thing, I'm Dandi. Thank you for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you again at our next conference. Goodbye.
We go hide away in daylight. We go undercover, wait up the sun. Got a secret side in play.